Today you guys are going to listen to Chapter 7 of Jasmine Toguchi Mochi Queen. And this chapter is called Wanted Mochi Hammer. There's a little tiny picture that I'll show you guys. When I got back in the house, I planned to look for the hammer. Bedtime, Jasmine, Mom said. But everyone else is staying up, I said. I had to find that hammer. You know the rules. My bedtime was 8 o'clock, but Sophie got to stay up till 8:30. Eddie probably didn't have a bedtime. I slouched into my room to get ready for bed. Because we had company, Mom didn't check for me. I brushed my teeth and put on my pajamas in slow motion. A burst of laughter came from the living room. I straightened up my desk, even though it was neat. It's your bedtime, Sophie, I heard Mom say. I went to my door and peered into the hall. Sophie sat slumped in front of her bedroom. Mom stood there with her arms crossed. My nightlight is broken. Can I keep the light on? Sophie asked. You know the rules, Mom said. No lights left on at night. That's one rule that didn't bother me. I can't sleep in the dark, Sophie said. We don't have any extra nightlight bulbs. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Mom walked back to the living room and Sophie stayed in the hall. If she didn't go to bed soon, she would get in trouble. It would serve her right for being so bossy to me. Maybe she wouldn't be allowed to make mochi. That would make her sad, but that didn't make me feel happy. I went back into my room and dug around in my closet. I found what I was looking for. Here's a flashlight, I said as I handed it to Sophie. Mom doesn't have a rule about flashlights. Sophie took it from me slowly, like she thought I might yank it away. As I walked back to my room, I heard her say quietly, "Thanks." I climbed into bed. I left the curtains open because I like to see the moon. Sophie was scared of the dark, but not me. I was fearless. That made me smile. I wouldn't let mean cousin Eddie scare me. I would find that hammer first thing in the morning. I like her drive right here. I feel like she has a lot of confidence. It kind of is reminding me a little bit. Right now I'm having a text-to-text connection in terms of the characters. I think that the main character, Jasmine Toguchi, I think that she identifies a lot with Amazing Grace, which I know we read and studied a few times. But I can see the bravery in both of them and also kind of their persistence in doing what they want to do. I admire that a lot. I was already awake when the sun came up. Mom and Dad sleepily stumbled into the hall, mumbling and grumbling. I rolled out of bed with a thump onto my bedroom floor. I had to find that hammer. I got dressed as quickly as I could. In the kitchen, the rice cooker set on timers were already steaming, filling the kitchen with the smell of rice. My mouth watered. I have to wait until midnight before I tasted our mochi. It was the one night of the year I was allowed to stay up past my bedtime. Another reason I love New Year's. Oba-chan and Mom ate grilled sardines and rice for their breakfast. I didn't want to eat anything that had eyes staring back at me. Dad and Sophie ate oatmeal. Eddie looked like he was still sleeping as he spooned Frosted O's into his mouth. Most of the cereal just dribbled back into his bowl. Black. Dad smiled at me. Good morning. Happy Mochisuki Day. Happy for him and everyone else, maybe. I wondered where Eddie had hidden the mochi hammer. Maybe I could look for it while everyone was busy eating. I shoved toast into my mouth and gulped down my orange juice. Nobody noticed me slip away from the table. First, I went to Dad's home office where mean Cousin Eddie, Uncle Jimmy, and Auntie Lori were staying. I looked under the futon. I looked in the closet. I even peeked in Eddie's backpack, but the hammer wasn't anywhere in the room. Next, I searched the bathroom. It wasn't in the tub or the linen closet. Then I checked Sophie's room. We used to play together there all the time with an awesome dollhouse she got from Oba-chan. After she started 5th grade, though, she said she was too old to play with dolls. I didn't look too hard because if Sophie caught me in her room, bad things would happen. I was pretty sure Eddie hadn't hidden it in my parents' room. The only place left to check was Oba-chan's room. I flipped on the light in her room, and my heart lifted when I saw my apron folded neatly on the desk. Misa-chan? Oba-chan said behind me. You looking for something? She followed my gaze. You want your apron? Even though I did, I wanted something else more. Eddie took the mochi hammer. Oba-chan frowned. He say you want to hide it. He give it to me. I was so mad. I felt like my head was full of boiled rice and steam was blowing out of my ears. That's not true. Oba-chan sat on her bed and patted the space next to her. I climbed up and she put a gentle hand on my arm. I know you sad right now, but your turn comes soon. I'd be very happy when you sit next to me and we roll mochi together. I liked the idea of sitting with Oba-chan, but I didn't want to roll mochi, not even in 2 years. What I wanted right now was to pound mochi with Dad and the uncles. If I could just explain to Oba-chan about wanting to do something different from Sophie, she might understand. But then the doorbell rang. Everyone was here. Oba-chan took my hand. Together, we walked out to greet the rest of my family. I left behind my apron. Way worse, I left behind the hammer, wherever it was. There's a picture. Jasmine and Oba-chan. That is the end of the chapter 7. And I'm wondering from you guys specifically, and you can add any thinking to our document that you want, but I'm wondering if any of you have ever faced a challenge where someone has told you that you can't do something, and maybe you listen to them, or maybe you kind of persevere and push through that anyway. So if any of you have any connections with the same problem that Jasmine Toguchi is facing right now, which is people telling her she can't do something right because she's a girl, I would love to hear about it and hear kind of your thoughts around it, or how you solved it, or maybe didn't. So let me know what you guys are thinking, okay? Talk soon. Bye.